Hey guys, this is Lily. I'm here today to make a video comparison of my MiniFee active line, new release active line, and my Mo line. I've had them for about a month and a half now. I've been playing around with posing them and noticed the differences in the two body types. So the main differences in the active line and the Mo line is that the active line has this hip joint, which I don't really know what it doesn't have that much range poseability. It's very limited, so I really don't know what to do with this. It's very restricted in the range movements that this joint actually gives you. It doesn't bend. It's only a couple of millimeters that it bends. But that's the main difference in the two bodies with the joints is this waist joint. And then the arms, the shoulders is totally the same, and the elbows and the wrist joints are the same. They both have the MiniFee magnetic hands, so you can change the hands, but you have to notice that these are casts and sanded manually, so all the hands possibly don't fit all the MiniFee joints. Some go on a bit more tightly, like this one on her, but you can sand the joint a bit if they are a bit too tight. So mainly all the hands can fit on all the bodies. And then the neck, I find that my M-line girl here has a bit of a problem. Her neck wants to slop backwards a lot. I don't know if this is just how she's stringed, but I don't find that any of the other joints are more loosely stringed than the A-line, so I don't know, but the range of the neck movement is a bit more limited in the active line. But the only difference I can see is that the circumference or the size of their neck joints are a bit different. The M-line is a bit smaller, so maybe about a half centimeters. I think the active line is 7 centimeters around the neck, and the M-line is 6.5. So it's not that big of a difference, but she really wants to do this. So she has a hard time if I just want to pose her looking up a bit and then she slouches back. But maybe I can do something about her if I restring her. But look-wise, the busts pieces are pretty much the same except for the neck circumference. And they have the same range of movement. Can move back to the sides, a bit, front, but not that much. And my A-line girl, same, slouch back, a bit forward, and to the sides. I've been told that you can change out the chest pieces between the A-line and the M-line, and from what I can see, they look exactly the same except for the neck. That the M-line's neck is a bit smaller, but it's only half a centimeter, so it's not that much. And then we come again to the abdominal. Again, this joint here is the only difference in the joints. Big difference in the joints between the two, and it doesn't have that much of a range, as I said. But there's a difference in the sculpt, because on the M-line we have sculpted hip bones, which I kind of quite like, and on the back she actually has dimples on the small of her back, which the let me see here, which the A-line doesn't. And I think the sculpting is just because they have to make the joint, which again I don't really see the point. And for both the new releases, the new release A-line, they have shoulder magnets, and the M-line has a magnet in her tailbone. The A-line doesn't, because she has the joint, so she doesn't have the, but she has the shoulder plate magnets now. And for the hip joints, they are exactly the same now. Before there used to be a bit difference between the two lines, but they are exactly the same. They have this top joint, the connection, and this, and they have the same range of movement. Same with the inline girl here. You do have a bit of a difference when you sit them, but I'm going to show you that in a bit. Then the knee joints are a bit different between the two girls as well. The A-line girl, she has a kneecap joint or a kneecap piece, and then this bolded is part of her lower leg. So she can do this. Whereas the M-line, she has the kneecap piece as well, but then the ball piece is actually a piece in itself, and then it has its lower legs. And there's this tab here, so you can actually like bend the knee more. Let's see if we can make a comparison between the two here. So you can see the M-line girl, the M-line body can move her leg back a lot more than the axle line because of this bolt joint is not connected to her lower leg, which it is in the M-line. So she has a bit more, I would call it a natural bend in her knee compared to the active line. And then the active line now has magnetic angles as well as the Mo-line girl. So you can actually interchange them, but again, like with the hands, these are hand casted and hand sanded, so they may not fit properly. If you can see, this doesn't pop on all the way. So if I want to have this, the A-line foot actually fit the Mo-line body, I think I have to sand this piece down a bit, the piece with the magnet. And let's try and these fit. So these are probably sanded a bit more than her feet. But you can interchange them, and you can buy high heel feet as well with magnetic angles. So you can both have M-line girl wear magnetic feet, and now the A-line wear the high heel feet. All these fits both girls. So those are the differences in the joints. And then there are the like aesthetic differences. So right now here you can see that there is a height difference, which is the most obvious between the two body types. The active line is longer, and mostly the differences, if we pose them like this, is the torsos are mostly the same size, but the difference is in the length of the legs. So as I said, the A-line girl is a bit taller. She's actually, I think it's 41 centimeters, and the M-line is 38, so she's 3 centimeters shorter. And the main difference is in the length of the legs. She has a lot longer legs. And then their feet, The M-line girl has tiny feet. I think her feet is only 4.5 centimeters. 4.5 centimeters. To me, they feel a little like clumpy or a bit chubby. But that's just a aesthetic preference. I don't really like her feet that much. Whereas the A-line feet are a bit, I think it's a centimeters longer. Even though the M-line feet are smaller, I think they could have made them a bit more elegant, but that's just my preference. Poseability. The M-line girl, she has, I find it kind of a tendency to slouch a lot backwards. She wants to kind of fall backwards, where the active line, she sits up a bit more. So the M-line girl, she kind of slouches back more than the active line girl, but it's not a big difference. It's a very small difference in the poseability when they sit. I also have a chair, so you can see how they sit actually on a chair. So this is how the A-line sits, and again how the M-line sits. And there's not a big difference in how they sit on these chairs. So for poseability, it's pretty much the same, except the only difference I actually find is that the A-line girl has this extra part in her knee, so she can actually bend her knees more. Whereas because her knee joints is, the lower part is part of her lower leg, she can't sit down as much. Oh. That's a problem with the magnetic feet, I found. They can pop off very easily, so if you try and take off their like stockings or shoes, the feet pops off. But this is the main difference I've found between the poseabilities between the two lines, is that she can actually sit much more natural, I found, than this girl. She can't, you can kind of force her down a bit. Oh, sorry. You can kind of force her down a bit, but you can't get down that much. At least with her legs closed. Where she can get a much more natural sit. See? So in conclusion, the main difference between the active line and the mole line is mostly aesthetics. The active line girl does have the joint in her hips, which give a bit of movement, but not a lot. And the mole line has the two-parted knee joint, which give her a bit more of flexibility in her knees. But mostly it's just aesthetics. The A-line has longer legs, longer feet, a smaller waist, whereas the mole line has shorter legs, a wider waist, and more sculpting in her hip bones, and a smaller back, and she also has the tail magnet. So if I was to give an advice on which body to pick for your MiniFee, I would say go for the one that you like the look of the most. I hope this comparison video has been informative. Thank you for watching.